Hello and welcome to this, a bit of a special start to the year video. It's 2025 if you didn't notice. What I wanted to do today was just talk about some of my winners and losers of 2024, kind of a wrapped, as it were. I did an article on this in December, but I didn't have a chance to record a video. So what I'm doing now is just kind of playing catch up a little bit. Wanted to talk through some of those bits and pieces, and then I suppose talk about what you can expect from me and expect from my work with Planet IT in 2025 and what we've got coming, because it's quite exciting. So let's start off with some winners, right? Start off with some things that did really well in 2024. The first must be artificial intelligence, right? It was everywhere, and anything had AI badged onto it. Every bit of hardware, every device that launched was something plus AI Copilot. You put a badge on it. Ultimately, though, artificial intelligence, machine learning really solidified its place in the market in 2024. It became a household staple. Everyone was talking about it, so much so that probably even your nan knows more about AI than she did going into 2024. So this year, we can only see that continuing, right? It's not going to just stop. But what we are seeing is that maybe the pace might slow slightly. There's, innovation will be limited by compute power, and we'll see that it will take a little bit of time for things to speed up like it did last year, but it's not going to go away. And all the big vendors are bought into AI. AI is going to be into every platform, into every solution. It's baked into your office environment, baked into your email. It's not going to go away. So embrace it, right? We also saw right at the end of 2024 a huge jump in quantum computing. So the kind of theoretical world of quantum computing becoming more of a real world of quantum computing, something that is going to very much become part of the staple of technology. Not saying that that's going to revolutionize IT. At the moment, there's obviously very unique use cases, but next 12 months, 24 months, we're going to continue to see some big jumps there. The one bit of tin, I suppose, old-fashioned technology that I think was a huge innovation last year was the Apple Mac Mini. Well, I'm a massive Apple fanboy. I always have been an Apple fanboy, but I'm always aware that Apple has this place in the market where it's premium, it's very, very expensive, and the previous Mac Minis, while supposedly entry level, just weren't. The price wasn't there, the performance wasn't there. It's a bit of a joke. You got an M1 processor, you got 8 gig of memory, things that just didn't work together. Well, they changed that, right? So the launch of the new Mac Mini saw a £500 device that came with 16 gig of unified memory and the fastest processor on the market. So much so that you saw people buying huge clusters of these things to run AI, to run some heavy computing loads, because they were so cost effective. You couldn't get that level of hardware from a PC, regardless of what kind of discount secondhand parts you bought. The value just wasn't there elsewhere. And it was in a box that was tiny with a small power envelope, something that was actually super well thought through. So much so that my Mac Studio that sat to my side, I started looking at it and going, do I really need you, or shall I go and bin you off for a Mac Mini, because I can get a much higher end machine and not pay as much money for it. So definitely has some pull. It makes the Mac Studio, the Mac Pro, look severely outdated, so looking to see that potentially Apple might have to do some big innovation with those two products leading into the start of 2025. Q1, we're going to have to see some innovation there, otherwise the Mac Mini is going to become the only product that people buy in the Mac space, and then the MacBook will still be the MacBook Pro that everyone picks up. And the other thing that we saw hugely on the rise was managed cybersecurity, right? So I talk about this as someone who works in the space. We've seen that the threats are getting worse. The threat actors are using the tools that we're using to make ourselves better, so AI and machine learning. They're using it to make better, more complex attacks. So we're seeing that it's really difficult to have a team internally that can deal with those threats. And in a lot of places where you're a split role, so you're IT and you're also cybersecurity, you just don't have the expertise all the time to look at the problems. So that's where kind of these managed detection and response services come in, and we're seeing companies like Sophos make huge waves, and they certainly will continue to do that this year. The trick being that if you can't protect yourself, then getting a team that can do it is pretty important, right? We saw a lot of losers, though, on the flip side. I say losers, not a nice way to put it, is it? But what we really saw was some things that just didn't do well. The first one being traditional software companies. What I mean by this is companies that didn't have a software as a service model or a subscription model. Pretty much every company's moving to that monthly model. If they didn't, or they hadn't done in 2024, they will do this year. It caused a lot of pains. You saw companies like Broadcom, when they acquired VMware, trying to shift it across to a SaaS based model or a SaaS alike model, and it was painful. But we're going to see that keep happening because people are moving from a capital expenditure model for IT to an operational expenditure model, and doing that means that you need more of this SaaS approach. And because things like Microsoft Azure, AWS, 365, GCP, all those kind of things are essentially offering those services on a monthly basis, or the ability to at least autonomize them on a monthly basis. That's where that software needs to go as well, and we're seeing that. So those that didn't were really struggling last year. The other one that really struggled and kind of was a bit unexpected, but I suppose was bound to happen, was virtual reality, augmented reality. It kind of was a big buzz 2018, 2019, 2020. It was like, yeah, we're going to have augmented reality. And then Meta went big with it kind of end of 2023 with the metaverse, and it kind of flopped. I love my Oculus Quest headset. I think it's really cool. But I mainly use it for gaming and playing around, right? Watching videos in 3D is great. But realistically, as a business operation, doesn't really have a lot of use. Doesn't matter how good the technology becomes. Apple really shot themselves in the foot in this space last year, I guess, with the headset that they released. Their all singing, all dancing Vision Pro for $3,500 was painful. Someone who loves Apple products, I wouldn't buy one. I don't think I'd be allowed to still live in my house if I went and bought a £3,500 headset that ran 4 apps. The technology isn't there, the market space isn't there. This may well change, but as we stand at the moment, unless you're sat playing Skyrim VR, you're probably not making the most of those tools. And the business operational use is very minimal. I think I'd look like a proper idiot sat with a Vision Pro headset in the middle of an office so that I could use a virtual desktop. And when I've got a very good monitor in front of me, it becomes challenging. Definitely not what we're expecting. Other things that really kind of took a bit of a dive last year, social media was all over the place. The dominance of Facebook and Twitter, now known as X, they've lost their kind of base. The trust starting to be eroded. We're seeing people leave Twitter certainly in droves. Certainly following the Elon Musk takeover, it's continued to get worse. But we definitely see it. We're seeing technology. People want to be places they trust, and we're seeing other spin-off kind of social media, but social media isn't what it was in 2008. It's certainly not the product it was 5 years ago. People have become wise to it, and TikToks of the world have changed that, and you see other platforms, LinkedIn, get the kind of TikTokified, as it were, where people start doing kind of clickbaity videos and stuff like that. It won't last. It doesn't work. It will eventually fade out. The value there isn't from that kind of content streaming. That works really well if you're running the TikTok app. If you're on LinkedIn, the last thing you need is 9,000 people doing the same kind of clickbaity video. So definitely a loss in 2024. We then obviously have what I'm going to refer to as the self-clap situation, which was IT marketing last year. As someone who's marketing kind of quite close to what I do every day, there were some notable mistakes. The biggest one would be Microsoft putting the Copilot logo, badge, name on every product that moved. So much so that when they announced the change from the Microsoft 365 icon, which has been kind of around that kind of purple circle, to denote 365 to becoming the Copilot logo, for no reason, kind of they had to pause and ended up clapping themselves whilst the rest of the audience looked unenthusiastic, because they're kind of like, well, why are we rebadging a product that exists with another product that exists logo, when actually Copilot not everyone's getting because it's a paid for feature? It's kind of a bit stupid. They weren't the only ones to do it. There was lots of stupid marketing decisions in 2024. Let's hope that people kind of learn from that. Lots of people redoing icons and logos and badges and making themselves different to themselves. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. Kind of funny, the big fail as well. Sorry, the big loser, really, I suppose. And this is a loser, is physical tin shifting devices. Companies Samsung, Dell, HP, everyone's reporting lower than expected earnings in 2024. The shift towards cloud computing, towards different devices, genuinely means that people are not buying the tin that they used to buy. So therefore, the companies that entire business model is pinned to that are struggling. You're seeing those companies all start to diversify into other product verticals. But it's something to be aware of, that it's not just magic, right? And this will continue to happen. So 2024 was a year of ups and downs, lots of ups, a few downs, quite funny things. I suppose the only other thing to say is the thing that always seems to be on the up is podcasts. I'm not doing this as a podcast. This is just me talking to you. Is the easiest way to cover this information. What I wanted to talk about, though, I wanted to wrap up and talk about what to expect from me and Plant IT in 2025, right? So we talk about what we did in 2024. We had a huge year. We did so many events, so much training, so many more kind of workshops. Essentially, it was non-stop for 12 months. So much so that it's going to be non-stop for another 12 months. That's the way we work. So we're starting strong this year. We've got a live hack simulation running in February. That's going to be in conjunction with Sophos. It's going to be designed to be really immersive. So you're going to be in a room, in an attack situation, and your decisions will influence how well your organization, or your made up organization in this case, survives. And there'll be a business room and a technology IT room, and the two rooms will be both competing to try and resolve those issues. Whether you'll survive or not, that will be for the day to decide. It's a unique experience. I'm really looking forward to bringing that, and also it's quite a cool venue. It's at the Curzon Cinema, so we've got a cinema screen to work off of, and then we're going to sort of debrief with some darts and some drinks afterwards, which will be interesting to see how many people are wallowing in their failures from the day, or very successfully sort of clapping themselves across to the flight club. So that's going to be a great start. I'm also bringing the education roundtable back. So something that I've done for this is the 6th year now. It has been to bring leaders in education, all technology, IT leaders, IT managers in the education space, people who tend to be ignored together. We started doing this during COVID. It was we did a couple during COVID actually, and where we brought people together and we said, right, let's just talk through the challenges you're seeing, and just gave people the chance to connect. And it's got bigger and bigger and bigger. And this year, so much so that we've made it a whole day rather than just a morning. So we've got a morning session, then we've got an afternoon session specifically to talk around Microsoft, the challenges that come from that, and bringing in for both sessions a team of really unique panelists, people who are industry experts. And ultimately, they're not salespeople. They are people that are there to talk about technology and how technology can work for you. It's been the first time ever where doing all these events, I've had to turn panelists away because people are coming to me and go, I want to be involved. And I was like, I don't have any more space for you. So massively popular. I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be huge. We are going to bring back our workshop series. We're going to bring back virtual training. This year for us is very much going to be continuing what we did last year, but bigger, better and bolder. More events, more workshops, more free training, more access to the services that me and my team provide. It's going to be about doing more. That's the way I look at it anyway. I'll probably be tired in December and say 2026 I'll want to lay down. But that's the way we want to be. So I appreciate you listening to this very long video. This is me. I'm back. The weekly videos will start again tomorrow, because it's going to be Friday tomorrow. I still can't work out the first of the year being in the middle of the week. It's really confused me. And I really appreciate you. So welcome back. Welcome to 2025. And I'll see you tomorrow for a weekly update. Goodbye.